Hey guys, Jen with Astro T. Today we are talking about the solar eclipse that's happening in Libra at 10 degrees 4 minutes. And now this is an annular eclipse, which means it's not quite full. So this is going to be happening on October 2nd at 2:49 p.m. here, Eastern Standard Time here in New England. Yes, back here in New England after vacation. That's why this video is a little bit late. So it is good to be back. Beautiful New England. You can't say how beautiful it is with all of the changing, that was a crow, I think. So with all the changing leaves, it's very pretty, but getting back from vacation is always a little bit difficult. So anyway, so this annular solar eclipse is coming on Wednesday. An annular means that the moon passes between the earth and the sun, but because it's so far from the earth in its orbit, it doesn't quite fill up the whole circle of the sun. So you get that ring around the outside of the moon. So it's like, it kind of reminds me of the movie The Ring, which I actually watched on the plane on the way home, but it's that circular ring around the solid dark. So the eclipse also is just a super stellium of stuff going on in Libra. So we have the sun, the moon, of course, because that an eclipse, a solar eclipse, is a sun and moon conjunction, which is like a new moon, and that also is conjunct Mercury. It's conjunct the South Node. It's conjunct the Black Moon Lilith and Juno. So it's about kind of doing what you need to do, just kind of like letting go of, what people are telling you. Be that Lilith that is just, independent, doing your own thing and not worrying about what everybody else wants. And it could have to do a little bit with relationship. Juno is a little bit far off. So you want to be independent in your relationships. You want to be also, maybe not that submissive force in your relationships with that Juno in there. Juno's a little bit, it's at 18 degrees, so it's a little further off, but still it's all this big stellium that's going on in Libra. So this eclipse season though has been super interesting because, what's happening now is the effects from the eclipses that happened back in the spring, so in March and April. So the perfect example that I found, like the second that I saw what date it landed on, I was like, well, wait a minute here. Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever his name is now, it's all that kind of started around the penumbral lunar eclipse. So again, with the lunar eclipse, with the raid on his house, that was back actually on the exact day of that eclipse, back on the 25th of March, and that was in the sign of Libra, 5 degrees. So again, that Libra, that balancing, that justice, that the scales of justice, that's what Libra is all about. They want, you're going to pay for if you did something wrong, and if you did something good, you're going to benefit from it. This was, really, it seemed like it was going to be a huge story back then, but then it kind of went away. It just went away, or just was almost like back burner, and you're like, wow, I thought this was going to be huge. We'd be hearing about all this crazy stuff. Well, until the partial lunar eclipse that then happened that in Virgo, he was arrested, and he was indicted actually within 1 day of that eclipse. So that was on the 16th, and the lunar eclipse happened on the 17th. And this was in the sign of Virgo, kind of like cleaning things up. So, you start in Libra with that justice, and then justice kind of cleans things up, gets them arrested, and we're gonna now that it's come full circle, lots is starting to really come out about that. Like things are being like brought into the light. Eclipses, and their eclipses due to their the full moons and new moons are eclipses due to their proximity to the nodes. Now this one in particular is within 4 degrees of the south node. So that's your past karma coming back. That's where you feel comfortable. Like, we take that full lunar eclipse to come to fruition, also with the eclipse conjuncting Mercury, expect to learn things. So his past karma is really coming back to bite him in the ass, and that conjunct Mercury, we're going to keep hearing things, news stories coming out, revelations coming out, like, oh, this person might all be a part of it. And I did look at his chart. I don't have an exact birth time, so if anyone does, I would love to hear it so we could really do some comparisons. But a quick little glance of his transits going on at the same time. He had transiting Mars squaring his natal Venus. So sudden revelations, sudden eruptions, sudden disruptions. I would think that, being arrested and indicted would be a sudden disruption. So Pluto also is conjunct his natal Mars. A lot of Mars action going on here. Something life-changing, and this is at the 29th degree, so something that was really coming to a head is now going to change signs. So, and that is in his 29th degree of Capricorn. Of course, that's where Pluto is right now. So this will very well affect his or destroy his career. I'm sure it's going to make some huge effects on his life-changing things happening. Pluto is destructive, so it can completely destroy, in Capricorn, could completely destroy his career. I don't know what house it's in, but anything Capricorn-y can be your career and your reputation, that type of thing. So the sun, though, is transiting conjunct his natal Pluto. So, and that is in Virgo. So his life is likely to be transformed, but we'll have to wait and see if he really does face a lengthy prison sentence and what is going to all come about with that. So now back to the current eclipse anyway. So I just thought that was really interesting, just to show how things aren't going to happen that day. So when you see these transits happening, when you see these eclipses happening, new moons, full moons, they could be a kickoff or something resonating that is going to build over a period of time. So don't just think, oh, well, that happened yesterday, I'm totally fine, I'm out of the woods. Well, something could come up about it. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It really just depends on how everything else is in your chart. Anyway, now going back to this current eclipse in Libra, Libra is again about justice, equality, harmony, balance. And when you're putting that with the black moon Lilith wanted to be equal to Adam, and Lilith didn't want to be his kind of inferior, like the lowly little woman. She wanted to be his equal. So kind of that's what got her ousted from the beautiful Garden of Eden. It's about really, that balance, that harmony, and you're wanting to be that equal and kind of going after it. It's about making those difficult choices in order to get to that, because we do have, because of its proximity, first of all, to the South Node, that can be very karmic, something comfortable or even past life, maybe something that was left unfinished, something that you might feel that you need to finish in this life, or just our soul's karma, what our soul needs to feel complete, like that closure. Lilith being there within minutes is that you don't want to be bound. You don't want to be held back. You want to just, be yourself and just open up and just be like, don't hold me back. I am, that female woman, hear me roar type energy is going to be a lot with this. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that in the coming months. This can be also something that you need to complete and be able to evolve. Oh, there's Tilly. So something that you need to complete to be able to evolve in this life, or even something that's going on in your life to kind of move forward past it. So it could be in a relationship. Again, we have Juno in there about relationships. So if that is strong in your chart, depending on really what it's aspecting in your chart, what houses it falls in, is where, wherever you have Libra in your chart is the area of life where you're going to really be feeling this, a lot of this intensity. So, you want to keep your eyes open and your mind open to incoming messages. So don't forget, it is also conjunct Mercury. So those messages might come in from places that you just don't expect. Now, on my vacation that I just got back from, I visited my Pluto, Sun, and Mercury line. It was also on my Sun and nodal Paran line. And being out in Wyoming and Montana was just surreal. It was a very surreal experience, and it really felt like I had gone home. It felt like everything was familiar, but yet not familiar. Like everything was just crazy, amazing, and it almost brought tears to your eyes. Just looking at everything. Well, that's how I felt anyway. But really strangely, I knew I was close to my Mercury line. So it was funny because I knew my way around, and it was my husband who is, almost like a tracker. He could find his way anywhere, but he got lost easily. And I would be, oh, it's here. We got to go back this street and go here, which in my normal everyday life, I get lost in the town that I've been in for the last 50 years. So it was really funny because I just was on point, I wasn't fumbling over words. I just was really on point mentally, because I was there on my Sun and Mercury lines, which I thought was really fascinating. And I also do, and it was extremely profound in its a profound experience for me because I felt very comfortable. Another reason could have been because I do have ties in my ancestry to the Blackfoot tribe, which is a big tribe out in that area of the United States. So kind of did feel almost like I was going home a bit. My Libra my Libra house is chock full, beginning with I have my Pluto, the Sun, Mercury, Ceres, and Uranus stellium in there. So this solar eclipse position right in the midst of all of it, really kind of raking over it all, conjuncting my Mercury, conjuncting Ceres, it's really about taking that action and moving forward and just being like, you know what, I know what I want and I'm going to go for it. And, things that are holding you back might still be holding you back, but they might be holding you back for a reason, because there's that South Node in there that is kind of doing that pulling. But South Node also is the tail of the dragon when we refer to the nodes as Rahu and Ketu. So Ketu would be the tail of the dragon, where everything's excreted out of, where you want to get rid of some things, when you want to leave things behind so that you can move forward. So the solar eclipse, again, just it's about receiving that knowledge with what is your destiny. Now this is in my 10th house, so be that with Lilith, it's about not conforming. It's about, as late I have felt very unsettled in that area of my life. So if I actively use this, which you do have to actually use it. A lot of these things, they're there, that gives you that potential, but you have to still put in the work. It's not just going to fall right in your lap. So I have to, actively use this to my advantage if I want to kind of benefit from it. We also, funny thing on, this could be transformational, especially since it's hitting my Pluto. And funny thing, we crossed the Continental Divide when we were in Yellowstone Park. So the Continental Divide symbolizes change, a change of direction in your life, because that's where the rivers go from flowing east to flowing west. So when you cross that, it's a change in direction in your life. So lots of symbolism for me out there. Sorry to bore you with all that personal stuff, but all this kind of comes together, and just we'll see what the changes are going to be. So it'll be interesting. So I'm really going to have to work and see what messages I'm receiving, keep my mind open so that I know what direction I need to be moving in. And I encourage y'all to do the same. You want to just keep your mind open, because it could be something that you don't expect, especially if it's in, say a relationship in your 7th house, and you're really stuck on this relationship, and it just gives you that little boost to move forward. That Lilith, just wants to do what she wants to do, even though we have Juno in there wanting to keep that relationship. But it's all about receiving those messages to know how to move forward. As of late, or as of with else is going on, one thing that really stands out with this eclipse is a beautiful grand trine. So that is when we have 3 planets trine together. It's got Venus, Saturn. Venus is in Scorpio now, Saturn is in Pisces, and then Mars in Cancer. And that is making this lovely trine. Now, Mars does square the eclipse, which, yes, the choices that we're going to be forced to make are going to be really hard and uncomfortable. And again, which I'm going back, oh, should I quit my job? Oh, should I break up with my significant other? Oh, should I move out of my home and into a totally different place? So all this stuff could be uncomfortable, and you could just not want to do it. But if those messages are coming to you, you have to just push yourself to make that change. Because again, being in a sedentary life isn't going to get you anywhere, and you're just going to just be left in the background as the whole world is moving forward in front of you. But with this grand trine with Mars and Saturn, you're really encouraged to take the reins of your life, control your own destiny. Looking at that north node that's across in that polar opposite, because they're always direct opposite. How are you going to get there? Yeah, it might be bumpy. You have that polarity that just is that little push and pull, that little seesaw that's like, should I, what should I do? And you just got to really push yourself, because we have a lot more going on in Libra that's going to maybe push us to excrete what we don't need, to get rid of that. That south node, that K2, that just wants to push out the things that we don't need so that we can move ahead a little bit lighter, a little bit easier. It's being really strong, determined, with that Saturn in there, and resilient. Things that we've worked for so long, that Saturn in there, going for our desires with that Venus. It's for us to focus on what is our heart's desire. What do we really want? Being committed to making it happen. That's that Saturn. And then making it happen, that is that Mars. So it's just, what's my heart's desire? What's my heart telling me I want to do? And then being committed to moving forward and taking action upon it. So how do we build this foundation? Well, to climb to the life we desire, we have to learn and know what to use, and with the knowledge that we're getting in. The South Node can actually guide us in this, because the South Node, it's not only about being complacent, being held back, it's also about using the talents given to us at birth to be able to really go for that destiny. So we are given certain things at birth, and you want to look at how your South Node falls and what benefits you're given out. Maybe you're a good artist, maybe you're good at math, maybe you're good at building things, who knows, maybe, whatever it could be. These are the talents that you're going to use to then move forward. So that's how we use the South Node. Instead of fearing the South Node or thinking that it's going to hold us back, that's how we use it to move forward. This is talents that we are born with, that we're given for a reason. The eclipse and Mercury semi-sextile to Venus in Scorpio, it's really going towards what you're passionate about. Use what comes natural to you, to really charm others so that you can move forward with your destiny, with grace and harmony, and not, kind of stepping on people in the background, because Libra just kind of wants that harmony and happiness. So it's going to really help you to move forward without hurting other people and without holding yourself back. Why were you born? What are you destined for? to look at your birth chart, see that natal promise to know, because the moment of our birth really just promises us a certain potential. And then during our life, we just have to work on making that potential become a reality. We're not going to really get more than what that potential is, but we don't necessarily have to accept less. So what we have to work on is just making that destiny what our hearts desire and making it work, and just knowing how to go about that and getting a good foundation so that we can move forward. And if that is releasing the past as well, you know, that south node, where it excretes what's no longer needed. So you know, you can't really move forward when you are being, you know, sluggish and held back. Kind of like, say you have a huge meal and then you're not going to go for a run right afterwards because you're going to be like, well, I can't. So once you excrete that huge meal, you can then go for a run and move forward. So I know that's kind of disgusting, but I mean, it just kind of makes sense. It's very symbolic of that. You know, how do I move forward on this full stomach, with this full heart, with this full brain? I need to excrete some of this so that I can move forward a lot lighter and freer. So keep that in mind as we look forward towards the future, and be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for future videos. And I would love to hear you guys say what it is you're looking forward to with this eclipse, and what this could mean in your lives, or what this could mean for all of us as a collective. So make sure you leave a comment, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.